Hey everybody, this is Mr. Horton with a series of video backup lessons for Studio Art 1, Studio Art 2, and film appreciation and cinematography. Verney Arts, Iona Prep. All right, hey guys, it's Mr. Horton here. So we are about to go into comic book history where I'm going to take you guys through 80-something years of Marvel Comics history with a focus on the entertainment end. And every year when I do comic history, I give you guys access to a digital comic that you guys could read the entire story of. It's optional. It's just kind of there if you're interested in comics. Maybe you never read one. Maybe you want to read one, check it out, see what it's like. So this year, the comic that I chose for the optional read is this comic called Spider-Man Life Story. It was 6 issues published in 2019, and it's an Elseworld Marvel comic, meaning it doesn't take place in continuity of every other Marvel book. So you don't need to know anything going into it. You don't need to know anything coming out of it. It's just kind of self-contained, its own little storyline. The story explores the concept of how superheroes never age and asks the question, what would it be like if you actually got to view a superhero naturally aging? The story follows Spider-Man starting in the 1960s through 57 years of his life, jumping 10 years each issue. And it aims to condense decades of Spider-Man's storyline into a logical timeline with an aging Peter Parker. The flow of time in the comic is akin to how you would ingest time flow in something like Forrest Gump. Okay, this was written by Chip Zdarsky. Now, Zdarsky doesn't have a crazy resume. The only other high-profile thing he worked on was he was the head writer on the relaunch of Spectacular Spider-Man in 2017, and it was drawn by Mark Bagley. Now, Mark Bagley, on the other hand, is an extremely high-profile comic book artist, having worked on Spider-Man in the 1990s, as well as being the mainstay artist on the groundbreaking Ultimate Spider-Man from the year 2000, which would eventually be the comic that would introduce Miles Morales to comic books in 2011. One big negative of Mark Bagley's artwork is his faces all tend to look similar. Like, he basically draws one guy and one girl, and every guy looks the same, every girl looks the same. It's way more common than you think in comic books that artists do this, but you can get around it because the writing is good enough to kind of forgive that. So back to the storyline. Spider-Man Life Story deals with such things as the Vietnam War, a big fight with Green Goblin, actually 2 fights, the death of Gwen Stacy, the Secret Wars, the Venom symbiote, Peter's marriage to Mary Jane and the birth of his 2 kids, the Superhuman Registration Act, or as it's known as, the Civil War between Iron Man and Captain America, and the eventual passing of the Spider-Man mantle to Miles Morales. Okay, so the comic 6 issues, check it out. It's totally optional. It's a good read. Each issue kind of plays out and feels like a movie almost. So it's kind of like you're getting like 6 movies in a giant like storyline, which is kind of fun. This will complement the comic history lesson. It's up on my classroom, linked, attached to this video. Okay. See you guys in class. If you have any questions about the assignment, email me or refer to the project on Google Classroom. See you in class.